Welcome back here to Team Friday here on OCR FM and also streaming live on maxblakemedia.com. It is comeback round and this bloke had a big comeback last week. It's great to see him back on the park. South Colac star Jake O'Dwyer joins us. Good afternoon, Jake.
G'day, Max. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How's yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you.
And big comeback last week, kicked a goal, had a bit of an influence. It must have been good to be back out in the park.
Yeah, it was definitely great to get back out there. There was a few nerves before the game, so I was a bit worried about hurting myself with my shoulder, but no dramas at all. I got through the game, no dramas. Didn't have as much of it as I would have liked, but you can't force these things.
You'll be easy. Ease back into it, mate. You'll be all right. Just talk about that. You did just mention before you didn't want to, injure it again. You had a bit of nerves. Has it taken a bit of a mindset coming into the game where you don't want to crunch into the packs a bit more harder than you normally do? Because I think that's why everyone sort of loves watching you play footy. It's just the hard ball gets that you like to get. Has it played a bit of a trick on your mind?
It definitely did coming into the game. I was worried about it, but it gave me a lot more confidence getting through the game, and I don't want to be the player that goes back and plays outside. I like being that inside player, so I've got a bit more confidence out of the weekend to get a bit tougher next week, hopefully.
Awesome. Just tell us a bit about the shoulder injury and why it's kept out for so long, mate. It was an operation late last year, was that right?
Yeah, I had an operation in December. Obviously, I dislocated it so many times last year, but there was no point. Once you do it 2 times, they say that you pretty much got to have an operation.
Yep.
So there was a couple of different things. They had to sort of tighten up all the ligaments and stuff in there, but there was also a bit of a chip, what they call a haggle. I don't really understand it fully, but that's what the recovery was. They said it was going to be 8 months, so it's usually not quite as long as that.
Yep. Okay, all right. So how many times do you reckon it did dislocate last year on you?
I reckon I counted around 6 or 7.
Jeez, oh. I dislocated mine playing basketball a couple of times, and it's the 3 or 4, and that was operation time. And yeah, I feel your pain, mate, but 6 or 7, I couldn't handle that. Oh.
Yeah, it got better as it went on. It did. Easier to take it,
and it was easy, and it gets easier to pop back in, doesn't it? Towards the end,
it certainly was.
It sort of just feels like just putting it back into place. It would have been tough. Did it actually happen ever during a game, and you've just continued on playing? Was that the case as well?
Yeah. The final against Bury, I think it was last year. I popped it out, and as I was coming off the ground, it's good that we had Justin Madden as our doctor there. He popped it back in on the ground, and I kept going. So that wasn't too bad that day.
Oh well, mate. Just on this season, has it been hard to watch your boys been playing? They're not struggling,
Definitely.
But they're just unable to win those close games, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right. We've had a couple of unlucky, and the way the boys have been playing in some of them, we were bound to lose. We just haven't been on our game some days, but it's very frustrating sitting on the sideline. I get furious sometimes and don't talk to everyone around me.
Yeah. What are you a bit of a barracker? Do you get into the game when you're sitting there watching, or do you try and keep tight-lipped?
No, I am pretty much a backer. I try and umpire it from the sidelines, so everyone would be able to hear me yelling out, I reckon.
It would have been a good conversation between you and Coxie, because Coxie, unfortunately, has missed a fair bit of footy this season, but you two on the sidelines, you guys would have been like the real big South Colac cheer squad for most of the season.
Pretty much. We'd both jump up and jump out of our seats and yell out if it was holding the ball or not, but it was good having Coxie there. We sort of helped Foles out and gave him a few changes and stuff like that, which was good to get involved like that.
Have you seen Timmy Foley in his first stage of coaching South Colac, mate?
Yeah, I reckon he's absolutely brilliant. I didn't know Tim really at all. I wouldn't have been able to point him out in the street before he came to South, but he's been brilliant. He speaks really well as a coach, and he just knows all the right sort of stuff. So I didn't know how to take him at the start, but he's been great. I love him, I reckon. Oh,
that's great to see. And I guess losing yourself and Ben Cox, it's taken a big hit, but also Clay Brewer, and we know he's overseas at the moment, but you would love to get him back, wouldn't you?
It would be fantastic. There's a couple of blokes out of our side from last year that were sort of key players, but speaking of that, Sean Harrington last weekend played his best game of the year, and he just reminds me of Clay so much when he plays one of those games. So if we can get a bit of consistency out of Sean like that, he'll be the next Clay Brewer pretty much.
Is there any chance that Clay might just jump on a plane start of August when you're sort of maybe lurking around the 5 and he can come down and maybe just spark you guys up in the finals?
Oh, I'd love to see that happen, but I reckon he's pretty settled in overseas at the moment. We were all praying that they weren't going to let him in, so he could come back and play footy, but I don't like our chances.
Yeah, well, we'll see. What about your new recruit too, Freddie Nordiger? We've loved him up the box. We get really excited when he just gets near the footy now. He just seems to be able to take the miracle mark, and he can kick a long bomb goal. You boys must get a lot of spark around him as well.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I didn't know much about Freddie till he came down and had a run with us with Stewie Foley, and I've heard you boys get excited in the box about him. But he's just great, especially with Coxie being out. He's that tall forward, and he leads right up the ground. And as you said, he can kick him from 55. Yeah. So it's been pretty exciting to watch.
And he loves celebrating too, doesn't he?
He does. He's a funny bloke, Freddie. He's good to get along with.
Yeah, what's he actually like as a bloke? Is he a real character?
Yeah, no, he's just your sort of standard bloke. He's a little bit quiet, I would say. He's not out there. He won't be probably hanging it on you as much as a few of the others. But he's new to the club, but he's been good. We've had a few beers with him, and he's just like your average bloke.
Oh, awesome, mate. And some of your kids, too, have really taken. I've really liked your small fellas. Timmy Spears, I think, really stood up this year, and so is Brendan Monaghan and Whitecross and Bloomfield. Those little small players, it's hard for them to totally dominate games, being their height, but they've been pretty good for you this year. Yeah,
they have. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. There've been one bloke play an awesome game one week, and then the next week it's someone else's turn. But there's a real bit of talent amongst those blokes. Brendan Monaghan probably has had the most tackles out of our whole team. He's the smallest bloke on it, so it's good to see his ferocity around the ball.
It's fantastic, mate. And there's a big one tomorrow, the Cattle Cup. We all know what happened last year in round one. Is it still sting a little bit, that round one loss?
Oh, definitely. To go down by 1 point and be up by so much in the first half, it's the boys are itching to get back out there and claim it back, especially with our Cattle Cup. We've got a good rivalry with those guys, and we want to get it back up to South.
We talk about it very often on our call that it's just been a sliding doors scenario where, at during the third quarter, we all thought, well, this could be South's year, and then all of a sudden it changed, and the Imps are undefeated, and you guys have, struggled on the wins column this season. You would really want to get this one back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly right. We were excited at the start of the season, and to knock those blokes off would have been fantastic. Yeah. But they've just been on a good roll since that. So hopefully, if we can get a win this weekend, we can sway it a bit and have a good second half of the season. What
are the chances of Coxie coming back this week, mate?
Well, we've got to see how we go, but he's pretty confident he'll be back this week. He didn't play last week or train at all, and the doctor's drained some fluid out of his knee. But even when he is at training, he looks really good. It's just been blowing up after training. It's been holding him back.
It's been a disaster year with the injury front. I guess we've used two out as well. But what do you reckon? If Coxie does come back, how do you reckon him and Freddie will go in the goal in the forward 50 together? Do you reckon they'll work well?
I reckon they'd be a pretty potent mix because Freddie plays so far up the ground and Coxie likes to be in the forward 50.
Yeah.
So I think it'd just be brilliant having Freddie leading right up the ground as a target and then still having someone down there that we can hit up once Freddie's dished the ball off. So.
It would be. It'd be very exciting, mate. Mate, thanks for joining us today, Jake, and all the best tomorrow and for the rest of the season. We're happy to see you back out there running around in the CDFL, mate.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for having me, mate.
That was Jake O'Dwyer from South Colac. This is Team Friday.